I was sitting in my dorm room, eating ramen and studying for my biology final when the message popped up. Just one sentence from my dad. No, hi. No, hope you're okay. Not even a stupid emoji. Just cold words glowing on my cracked phone screen. Your room is no longer yours. We turned it into a gym. Don't bother coming back. For a second, I couldn't even breathe. I read it again and again. My fingers trembled. Was this a joke? I hadn't even been gone for 6 months, but deep down, I knew it wasn't a joke. This was real. This was them. Before I tell you what I did after reading that message, make sure to like, share, and subscribe if you believe no one deserves to be treated like they don't belong. And tell me this, if your own family replaced you with a treadmill, would you still call them family? I always knew I was the outsider in my own home. My name is Riley Carson, and I was the invisible child, the mistake they had to tolerate. My older brother, Brandon, was the golden boy. Football star, perfect teeth, straight A's even when he cheated, and still somehow the pride of the family. I, on the other hand, was too sensitive, too opinionated, and not grateful enough. I remember once, on Brandon's 18th birthday, they rented out a rooftop restaurant. For mine, a frozen cake and paper plates in the kitchen. No one even sang. Mom said, "You're too old for that now," even though I'd just turned 16. I swallowed it, just like I swallowed everything else. The snide comments, the comparisons, the guilt-tripping hugs. But this message? This one shattered something inside me. I called Mom. Straight to voicemail. I tried Dad. No answer. Then I did something I hadn't done in months. I opened my old group chat with the family. It was full of Brandon's gym selfies. Renovation almost done. Cardio corner coming soon. With stupid emojis and fake excitement. That's when I saw the picture of my room, my bed, gone, my bookshelf, dumped, my childhood wall art, the one I hand-painted over summer break, painted over in gray. There was a treadmill where my desk used to be, dumbbells where my stuffed animals once sat, and then it hit me. They'd planned this. They wanted me gone, and now they'd made it official. But what they didn't know was that I wasn't the same girl who left 6 months ago. I had secrets now, connections, something they never bothered to ask me about, something that was about to flip everything. Tell me, if your parents erased you like this, would you forgive them or destroy everything they care about? I didn't cry, not this time. Instead, I opened my laptop and pulled up an email I never thought I'd need. It was from Mrs. Greenwald, my mentor and the attorney who had taken an interest in me after I won that statewide youth debate tournament. She'd said, "If you ever need help, real help, email me. No questions asked." That was 3 months ago. I never replied. I thought I could handle things myself. But now? Now I was done playing the quiet daughter. I typed just 3 words. "I'm ready now." Within an hour, she replied, "Come to my office tomorrow at 3. Bring everything." Everything? What exactly did I have? That night, I went through my childhood photos stored on my backup drive. And that's when I saw it. A document I had scanned years ago when Dad asked me to test the new scanner. It looked like some boring legal paperwork back then, but now, it caught my eye. The title said, "Last Will and Testament of Henry W. Carson." My grandfather. Wait, this didn't make sense. I thought Grandpa's will was handled years ago. Everyone said he left everything to Dad, but why did this version say, "The estate, including the house located at 42 Hemsworth Lane, shall be transferred to my granddaughter, Riley Carson, on her 21st birthday, provided she maintains active education status"? I blinked. My 21st birthday was just 3 weeks away. They knew, They knew all along. That's why they pushed me out. Why they iced me from family dinners, forgot my birthday, and now erased my room like I never existed. Because the house, their precious house, was mine. Legally, they didn't just betray me. They tried to erase me before I could claim what was rightfully mine. And now, I had proof. Tell me honestly, if you found out your toxic family was hiding your inheritance, would you stay silent to keep peace? Or fight for what's yours, even if it meant burning bridges? I couldn't sleep that night. My heart was pounding too hard. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Brandon flexing in my room, grinning like he'd won. I saw Mom wiping down the new gym floor, proud of turning my memories into something useful. And Dad, cold, silent, watching it all like I was just some burden he'd finally gotten rid of. The next afternoon, I walked into Mrs. Greenwald's office with the scanned will on a USB. She took one look at it, adjusted her glasses, and said something that gave me chills. This isn't just a copy. This is the original version, the one they never submitted. She explained everything, how wills can be manipulated, how families do this all the time, how money makes people ugly. But this was illegal. They'd bypassed my grandfather's final wishes. They'd hidden this version, which meant, in the eyes of the law, that house was already mine. Mrs. Greenwald leaned in. We can move fast, but I need to know, do you want this quietly, or do you want them to feel it? I looked her straight in the eye. They erased me like I never existed. I want them to remember me every time they step through that door. The next day, legal notices were sent, not just to my parents, but to their mortgage company, HOA, and real estate agent. Apparently, they were planning to sell the house soon. That gym wasn't for Brandon. It was for staging. They were flipping the property. They were going to cash out on something that belonged to me. But not anymore. And just when I thought I'd seen the worst of it, Brandon texted me, out of nowhere, acting all friendly. Hey Rye, heard you're doing well? Want to grab coffee sometime? I wanted to laugh, but instead, I replied, sure, let's meet at the house. I'll leave the key under the mat. The best part? He actually showed up. I waited behind the curtains as he rang the doorbell like a lost puppy. When he tried to use his old key and it didn't work, he looked confused. And when I opened the door, standing there in my new outfit, holding the official ownership papers in one hand and the key in the other, his face dropped. You don't live here anymore, I said with a smile. Tell me, if you had the chance to watch someone who hurt you lose everything, would you stop it from happening or let karma do its job? Brandon stood frozen at the doorstep, like his brain couldn't catch up with reality. He forced a smile, tried to play it cool. Okay. Is this some kind of joke? Mom and Dad didn't tell me anything about... I didn't let him finish. That's because they never thought I'd find out, I cut in. But I did, and now everything they tried to hide is out in the open. He stepped back, laughed nervously. Come on, Riley. You really gonna kick out your own family over some old will? My family? I scoffed. You mean the people who turned my childhood room into a gym before my body was even cold to them? The ones who were about to sell this house behind my back? He didn't answer. Yeah, I said, stepping outside. I'm really gonna kick them out. That same evening, legal notices were pinned to the front door. My parents came rushing back from their weekend getaway. Mom's face turned pale when she saw me sitting calmly on the porch swing, the same one Grandpa built for me. You can't do this, she shouted. We raised you. This house was our life. No, I said quietly. This house was his life, and he gave it to me. You just got caught stealing. Dad didn't say a word. For once, the man who always had the last line at dinner, the one who loved to correct me mid-sentence, stood there completely silent. Because he knew. He knew I had them. But then came the part I didn't expect. Mrs. Greenwald called the next day. "Riley, there's more. Your grandfather didn't just leave you the house. There's a separate trust fund in your name. But here's the twist. Your parents were listed as the temporary custodians. Until now." I felt my stomach twist. All these years I lived broke in a college dorm eating 99-cent noodles, while they were using my money. Vacations, remodels, Brandon's car, his tuition, it all came from me. They weren't just selfish, they were thieves. I decided then, I wasn't just taking back what was mine. I was going to make sure they never forgot what they did. The next morning, I went live on social media, not with drama, not with yelling, just with truth. I calmly told my story, showed the documents, showed the will, and ended with a single sentence. This is what it looks like when the forgotten child remembers everything. The video went viral. Suddenly, their community, the same one that used to praise them for being the perfect family, turned against them. My parents were removed from their HOA board. Brandon lost his gym sponsorship. Their real estate deal collapsed overnight. They wanted to erase me. Instead, I rewrote the entire story. But here's what I want to ask you. If you were in my place, would you stop once justice was served? Or would you keep going until every secret was exposed? A week later, the house was finally empty. No treadmill noises. No Brandon's fake laugh echoing down the hall. No smell of Mom's overcooked pot roast that she swore was a family tradition. Just silence, peaceful, earned silence. I stood in the middle of my old room, now my space again. I didn't change it back to how it was. I didn't repaint the walls or put back the posters. I left the gray paint. I wanted it as a reminder of who they made me and who I became despite them. Brandon tried to reach out again, first with guilt, then with threats. He said, I ruined the family, that I turned everyone against them. But here's the truth. They did that to themselves. I didn't steal anything. I didn't lie. I didn't cheat. I just stopped letting them win. What they didn't know was that I used some of the trust fund to start something new. A scholarship fund for students like me, kids who were cast aside by their own families, kids who needed someone to believe in them, the way no one ever did for me. I named it the Henry Fund after my grandfather, the only person who ever truly saw me. And as for my parents, they moved into a cramped apartment across town. The same people who once told me I'd never be strong enough to survive the real world now knock on doors looking for support from the very community they used to impress. I never answered Brandon's texts again. I didn't need to, because the best kind of revenge isn't loud. It's not petty. It's not cruel. It's being everything they said you could never be, and doing it without them. Moral of the story. Sometimes the ones who are supposed to protect you turn out to be the ones you need protection from. But when the truth is on your side, you don't need permission to rise. You just need the strength to stop shrinking. Now tell me in the comments, have you ever been treated like the outsider in your own family? Would you take revenge or walk away forever? Tap like if this story hit hard, and don't forget to subscribe for more real, raw revenge stories.